Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wednesday show. I think I got everything working this time. Everybody, right now, cross your fingers that both streams are working and there's nothing funny going on. But I think I've got everything solved. I spent a lot of time this week trying to make sure that I got the streams running correctly. So we'll see what happens here. Could be an interesting show tonight, I can tell you that. Of course, I am one of your hosts on One Ton Hammer, and with me tonight, my two favorite hosts and the entire Wednesday show, Perry DeMantis.
Hello.
And Jen T. Maxey.
Hi.
You like how I qualified that?
I'm staring at your flag so much. It's amazing.
What? What about my flag?
It's Rumble. I blame Rumble.
What happened?
Or maybe it's just you're good.
I'm good?
So on the stream, it's showing more of your flag than necessarily your icon, and I don't know if it's matching with.
Oh, look at that! The Rumble one looks weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Showing the flag, but not my icon. But the YouTube one is showing my icon in the wrong place.
It's just the mysteries of internet connecting and information sharing and that stuff. Like, it's not a big deal. It's just,
I'll get it straightened out while the show's going on.
wow.
But everybody can hear us. Everybody can see chat. Here's something that nobody noticed. The chat from Rumble that's on the screen, the background isn't blue anymore. It's see-through. Huh? Yeah. Yeah, that's the last thing I fixed. So I wouldn't doubt that there's going to be some weird things like my flag being weird, because I kind of had to rebuild both screens to some extent, or I had to modify almost everything on the screen. So actually, when we started up Rumble, your flags were all screwed up too. I had to fix it. So
No, it's all good. It's just when I see stuff like that, I'm always in awe at technology because it's funny.
well, your flags are important. Your flags are okay. Nobody cares about my flag. So doesn't mean anything.
Let me put it to you this way, Hammer. A lot of people get really mad at the bugs in games. Nuh-uh. It depends entirely upon the bug. Like, some bugs are helpful, and some bugs are just so funny that you really don't want them to get rid of it because it was just funny.
Yeah.
Well, see, the thing about with me is, like, if I take a step back and think about it, a series of ones and zeros is now like a game. And like that, on a fundamental level, that blows my mind. Like, if you break it down, it is just, 1 1 0 0 1, and somehow the computer turns that into, Monster Hunter or whatever game you happen to be playing. Like, that is amazing to me.
Have you ever seen code in binary as opposed to like compiled C code or something stupid like BASIC? BASIC's almost in English. Even JavaScript is pretty understandable in English. But if you look at machine code, it's like, what the fuck is this? It's just completely...
Even assembly code makes a bit more sense than just pure binary. Like, pure binary, I don't know how anyone can comprehend what any of that is.
A friend of mine used to make a joke about that because he knew like all the languages at the time. Like mainframe languages like COBOL and Fortran and all that kind of stuff. And we get in discussions about programming, and he'd say, yeah, but can you program in assembler? I was like, yeah, I can program in assembler. He says, yeah, well, can you program in binary? Nobody can program in binary. So, and we'd all laugh about it. It's no big deal. But I got to apologize. I do have a bit of a cough tonight, so I'm going to be struggling with that. Let's go over the topics for tonight, and I'll explain them, and then we can get into something. And while you guys are discussing it, I'll go ahead and fix Rumble. I already fixed YouTube for the most part. My flag is never perfect. It's always off by a little bit, no matter what I do. So it's a feature. Anyway, tonight's topics. Go ahead, John.
Well, I was going to say, at least you do know how to fix it.
Yes.
So some of the flaws that I used to enjoy came from Ark, and I don't think they can anymore because they buried it so many times with new dinosaur skins that they can't. But yeah, they used to have poo that would fly off into outer space, and it would be random. So you'd be like, oh, look, my dinosaur's taking a crap. It's flying into space.
Flying poo.
That's amazing. Yeah. It makes no sense. And you're like, it holds no value to anybody but me.
That's a unique bug. I don't think I've ever heard anything like that.
Tyrion Rumble Chat says the Gandhi bug is one I wish gets smashed forever. That's not a bug anymore. That is 100% intentional. Assuming that you mean the civilization thing where Gandhi is a complete warmonger and like just nukes everyone. That is not a bug. It started as a bug and then they thought it was funny. So now it's deliberate. They do it every game on purpose.
There was a bug that I found in World of Warcraft, and I actually got credit for it. I just happened to be recording the game I was playing. Just let's just forget and record this. And I was using wasn't using anything good. I was using low res kind of crap. But we were fighting somebody, and I was on a mage, and we ran into this area. And when I ran into the area, everyone else dismounted when they ran into the area automatically. But I must have come in at an angle where I didn't hit the trigger that dismounts me, and I stayed mounted inside an area you're not supposed to be able to be mounted in.
Yeah.
And I'm casting weapons as a mage, and I'm casting while mounted. Everyone else is standing there, and I'm on my horse. I had like a white horse. I'm casting from the horse, and it looked perfectly normal. Like you can't do that in the game anywhere. You can't cast while mounted. But because it didn't understand that I was still mounted, the graphics worked. It looked normal. Everything worked fine. But it was just all the guys who were, what's going on with you? Why are you casting while mounted? I don't know. It just didn't kick me off like it was supposed to. So, but I sent the screen grab to Blizzard, and later it was patched that some people can cast while mounted in this area, and that was gone. So I was like,
I remember when I was playing the Discworld mod, I found an infinite money bug. I reported it and they said, yeah, that's fine. We're not going to fix it. Like, all right.
Okay. There's a bug in that between Windows 11. Windows 11 has two service packs. It's the original service pack, and there was another. They call them service packs in the past. Now they just call them what do they call them? Like 6-month updates or something like that. There's some name they have for them. But the current update to Windows 11 has a bug between Windows 11 and the graphics editing program I use, DaVinci Resolve. So when you export a video file that has sound, especially if it's 5.1 sound, you can export it and it looks like it exports fine. But then when you go to look at the file, it changes the audio format to a very low bit rate.
Oh,
like you can export it like at 384. You can export it at 512, whatever you know, and it will export properly. And it'll say, this is your number. And you say, yeah, that's the number I want. And you'll say export. And it'll say, okay, you're all done. You export. Everything's great. And then you go in with a program that can show you the bit rate of the actual audio file that was created along with the video file. And it's like 128K.
Oh, Jesus.
The only way to fix it that I've reported it twice. The only way I've been able to get around it is I've installed Windows 10 on another machine. So that's a little painful.
But no, the infinite money bug in Discord was funny because, like, if you were a thief, you could fence your stolen goods to like official fences, and then once you fenced it to them, they would put it in their sack that like they just stored all their goods in, and you could steal directly from the sack. So you could fence something to the guy like a sword, steal sword from sack, fence sword to
the guy. Steal sword from sack.
Yeah, and the only thing was if you did it in one of the cities, it wouldn't work because they had a legalized theft system, and like there was a limit to how much you could steal. Like you had a quota. You had to steal over a minimum and under a maximum. So you couldn't do it really effectively in that one city. Anywhere else, though, knock yourself out. And it was
crazy.
I reported it, and they're like, no, that's fine.
Let's okay. The three topics for tonight. Samaritan Snare. Anybody who's a Star Trek fan should recognize that phrase, by the way. This is about Daniel Perry, the guy who choked out a young black Michael Jackson impersonator and killed him.
Yes.
And all the news that you need to know about that. and then Probed. I'm looking at it now. It looks like Pro Bed, but Probed.
I am very pro
Weird.
bed.
I'm Pro
I think
Bed too.
I'm a bed.
Couch is okay, but I'm Pro Bed.
Yes.
That's all about Durham and his probe finding that there was collusion between the FBI, the Dems, and the media against Trump during his presidential run.
Mm-hmm.
That's been big in the news, so I'm sure everybody knows about that. And finally, public boobs. This is not a news item. This is just kind of a discussion I wanted to have because it's been running around on Twitter. It was either this or Tradwise were the two things I wanted to talk about because people I subscribe to, this has been the two big things that have been running around on Twitter lately. So I picked public boobs. Wisely. Yes, I chose wisely. I know that movie. But yeah, it's a discussion about public breastfeeding. And it's been very frustrating for me trying to come to terms on this because I have a lot of opinions. So why don't we go ahead and say hello to everybody in chat? I'm going to do a scribe here and go back on Rumble, Tier, and Cynic. J Blizzard 427. Is that JB from YouTube?
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. A new user. We can't have that. It has to be somebody we know. Spud is on Rumble. Green Badger Outdoors as Green Badger on Rumble. Is that everybody on Rumble? Green Badger, Spud. I don't want to miss anybody. I feel bad if I scroll past somebody and I don't mention their name. We're getting so popular now. I might have to forego this. Bresnor Brace Tastic? Is that a new person?
That's Costin.
Oh, OG Costin. Sorry, I didn't make the connection. All person on Rumble. Rumble chat's kind of long because they get an extra 20 minutes to talk on chat. Yeah. And then over on YouTube, Keverdam, #1, first person on. All person's also there. Lisa, straight from the UK. Hello. And I saw a couple of yeah, there's OG Costin, there's JB on YouTube. Didn't I see Mash here? Did I miss her?
Yes,
yeah, there's Mash Shisu. Hello. Blakester, welcome. Scrolling. It would be nice if there was a way that's everybody, by the way. I'm sure more people are rolling as we go along, but it would be nice if there was a way to just have it automatically build a list so you didn't have to scroll through the text. You can actually just have a list of people who've talked. I know you can, on the right hand side, you can click and say participants, but if somebody doesn't
chatted recently, yeah,
right, that's why people chat recently, so you can't go by that. But it'd be nice if you could, if that included everybody who chatted in this session. That would have been perfect. That would have been useful.
Well, I think the problem with that is people might, like, if they haven't actually chatted anything, they probably don't want to be acknowledged. They probably are staying silent for a reason.
I do that all the time. Yeah, I do that all the time. I just sit back and watch the show and not chat.
If you're deliberately staying silent, you probably don't want the people on the stream to read out your name as being in chat because oh god, now I've got to talk to people and I didn't want to do that right now.
Yeah, that's okay. I just want to make sure I don't forget anybody. That's all.
Yeah.
Oh, my hand is back. Yay. Sorry. As we're discussing this, I'm putting my flag back together again.
So. Fair enough.
Anyway, so we have 3 topics. Hello to everybody in chat. So I've done my due diligence there. But we have 3 topics. Is there anyone that you guys want to work on, start with?
I mean, I'm always up for boobs, but...
I'm up for boobs. I mean, boobs are necessary for world peace, if you ask me.
Sure.
Anyway, yeah, why don't we start with boobs? That's an awesome place to begin. So, yeah, it's been a topic on Twitter. This is what bothers. Maybe I should, instead of just putting 3 news topics up, I should pull one topic from Twitter every show, because I'm such a Twitter maniac that this is
Yeah.
where I see everything anyway. So, and I don't really think anybody else in Minions really grabs stuff from Twitter. So it would be something our show does that separates us from everybody else. So maybe that's a good idea. We'll see how this works out. My headphones are stuck. So yeah, the debate that's going back and forth, and I like to hear from Chad about this, about whether boobs are a sexual part of a woman's body. My perspective is that they are. But I'm getting a lot of blowback saying, no, they're just there to feed kids.
No,
That is incredibly naive.
That's the lie. That's a lie.
And my pushback was, well, make up your mind. Is it just a utility feature necessary for feeding kids, or you can't have both? Because you can't, you walk in on a girl who is changing in a changing room and she's in a bra and she, I'm in a bra. How dare you creep? Blah, 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 blah. And she treats them like you're a pervert and it's a sexual thing. Yet they'll go on a train ride, pull their tops off, expose their breasts, have a baby, sucking on a nipple, and we're all supposed to just say, oh yeah, that's fine.
Half the time you see these women posting those videos and they're making that stink, they aren't really doing exactly what you said. They are literally doing it in such a way where that they're trying to get as much eyes on them as possible. And the last one I saw, if you really didn't want it to be public, you wouldn't have posted it online in the first place. Look, I'm having a beautiful moment with my child. Well, I absolutely show you my tit. And I'm like, you just violated your own child so that you could get a tit shot out.
I think it's incredibly naive to make the claim that there is nothing sexual about female breasts. They have been so heavily sexualized in every aspect of our culture that to try and make the claim that there's nothing sexual about them is just absurd. Of course they're sexualized. Of course they're a sexual part of the female body.
But also, I'm pretty sure everybody, even in our little small community, has seen a woman feed her kid in public. They aren't just showing off their chests like that.
No, of course not. There's a difference between flashing your tits and feeding a baby. That also needs to be pointed out. There is a difference there.
There's just such a big difference between the two, and they're acting like it's so dishonest.
Well, I think I think you do have a responsibility to cover yourself up. I mean, if you're going to breastfeed in public, sure, sometimes the situation demands that this is something that you need to do, fine. But I do think you should make some effort to cover up. I mean, just out of courtesy, like
to your own kid.
But for everyone, like there's people who don't want to see that. I don't think you necessarily have a right to bare your breast just because your child is hungry. Just make some token effort to cover up so we can, recognize. Okay, no, she's just feeding a baby. That's fine.
But it's still okay. Listen, I'm even taking it from I'm taking it from this perspective. Yeah, the kid is eating their lunch. Like they're trying to make it like, oh, you're making a big stink. I'm just feeding my kid. Yeah, your kid just wants to eat lunch. You are bringing so much attention to just your kid eating his lunch or her lunch, whatever. Like,
everything okay?
Nah, it's all good. It's just the irony of it. Like that's the thing with people who aren't really being honest about the conversation. Like they'll do stuff like that makes it so obvious that it's nothing to do with the kid at all.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's that much of a conversation to be had, to be honest. I think, yes, they're sexual. Yes, kids need to eat. If you have to feed in public, then cover yourself up just out of common decency. And then,
You guys reading chat?
When the kids finished eating, you put yourself away.
Mm-hmm.
Are you reading chat?
Yeah.
Spud's making me laugh. Alabama was right about women. But Kieran makes a point, for we're saying cover your boobs. In Saudi Arabia, they're saying cover your entire body. You can see how it's oppressive if you look at it from that perspective.
Not really.
I don't think burqas are. I think a burqa is pretty oppressive gear. You have to wear that crap to go out in public. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I think there's a world of difference between
There is.
cover up your private parts and don't show any skin whatsoever except for your eyes.
The eye slit, the mailbox, right?
Yeah.
Well,
The mailbox slit.
I'm gonna slide a little Miller joke in here because
Okay.
they were all like, "Oh, women were makers of the beer in the first place, and then we treated them to asking them to wear the swimsuits." And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay,
And
those women fought tooth and nail to be allowed to do that. They fought tooth and nail to be allowed to do that. No, they got pushback from men. They got pushback from old women. No one was going, yeah, women, you should do topless ads to sell beer. No one was doing that. Those women pushed to do that. Was it necessarily a good thing over the long run? I don't know, but it sure sold beer.
oh, for sure. But but like people are saying it's natural. So is pissing, but I can't do that in public without getting in trouble.
Yeah, go ahead and ejaculate in public. See how accepted that is.
Completely natural. What are you getting offended by?
Yeah. So I did just on a quick tangent. I did some research on the claim that women created beer, and that turns out to not be substantiated. The Sumerians created beer, and their goddess, their beer god, is a goddess. So a lot of people put one and one together, but there's no proof that actual females in the Sumerian structure were the ones who created it. It could very well have been guys. There's no evidence either way. But because the god is a female god, they assume female people did it, and that's not. There's no evidence of that. Just so if everyone tells you.
I don't think the Miller Lite lecture in the guise of a commercial is really worth fact checking. I just assume they're full of shit.
Yeah, that's a good point. But yeah, I mean, I don't have any problems with it. If you, I did some research to try to justify all of this stuff because I've been doing the research like crazy. And the research I have is that babies in the first 3 weeks can't taste, and they can't smell, and they can't see. They're basically just lumps of flesh. It takes time. So if you're feeding a baby, you can go into the bathroom and feed your baby because they can't smell the piss. And most female bathrooms, at least the ones I've cleaned, do not smell of piss. They smell of perfume.
Fair enough. I've never been in one. I've never had reason to.
I used to work retail, so I had to go in and clean bathrooms. We all did. We took turns. In any case, so if your baby's a newborn, then there's absolutely nothing wrong with you saying, well, I'll just, I'm in a Walmart. Where's the bathroom? Sit down on the toilet and feed your heart's content. That baby can't smell it anyway. And also, the ability to recognize piss as something that's bad, that takes social engineering to do that. You don't automatically gain that until you realize what piss is and associate the smell to it. And then you say, oh, well, that's a waste product that exits from the body. That's disgusting. Right. So I don't want to smell that smell.
I would think there's some level of instinctive nature.
You think so?
Because it is unsanitary. Like if you don't have an instinctive revulsion to unsanitary conditions, then
does the baby know that
society's going to get sick.
Does a baby know that? Does a baby say, I'm going to get sick from that smell?
Not on a conscious level, obviously, but I'm saying it's built in the same way that they don't think I shouldn't touch that because it's hot. But if they do touch it, they're going to pull their hand away because they have an instinctive response. No, pain bad.
Well, yeah, pain, of course, but
the thing is, the smell of feces has to be revolting to us. Otherwise, we wouldn't know to avoid it, and then we'd get sick, and society would not do well.
Here's the thing, though. Like I said before, there is a way to do it, and there is a way not to do it. Like say Walmart as an example. Well, a lot of Walmarts up here actually have a McDonald's. I don't know if you guys have that, or like they have a restaurant or something, but those restaurants like the Walmart have booths. So in a booth, like you can feed your kid without showing it off to everybody.
Yeah, the booth
And you
covers
can do it.
a large portion of you.
Yes, and you can do it in such a way where you both have enough room, and you don't have to be like, "Hey, look, my tits are out." Like that.
Yeah.
That's a bit. Like I said, it's a little. This woman doesn't even care about their own kid, and that's why I view them that way. It actually has nothing to do with them feeding their kid. Yeah, fair enough. You got to do that, but you do have other ways to go about it. That doesn't mean you have to be inappropriate. And yes, believe it or not, there was a guy that I watched just by chance a couple of weeks ago who was pointing out there was this woman who was exploiting her kid like that. She actually does lactation porn. Most of the time she doesn't have her kid in there, but she has another channel where she walks around feeding her kid, and it's, at grocery stores, and yeah, her tits out right on out. You see what she's doing, and you know that the men who watch her lactation videos go to watch the ones with their kid on it. And they're like, yeah, once he's done, it's my turn for lunch.
Kieran wants a link for that.
Okay, I'll have to go. I don't know. I'd have to go through my history for that one.
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
But yeah, there are women who do that. They will take advantage of the fact that, yeah, there are some men out there who are into certain things. Lactation porn is one of them. Is it every woman who's out in public? No, actually, most of the women out in public are probably up their own ass and self-important. Like, you're paying attention to me. Oh my God, you're paying attention to me. And then there are women like that.
Yeah. As I understand it, 8 hours for sleep, that leaves 16 hours awake. Babies need to be fed 8 to 12 times a day. That's roughly every 2 hours. If you're going to be out somewhere for 4 hours, you're telling me you can't feed before you leave, then go to the bathroom after 2 hours, and then feed when you get back home. That's impossible. You can't do that.
No, I mean, I agree. I think it's perfectly reasonable to expect them to try and find somewhere private to do it.
Beaver Dam wants to
Like you said,
be on the show.
Public bathrooms are not hard to find.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you don't even have to go to the bathroom. If you're in a Walmart, just walk out to the parking lot, sit in your car, and have a good time.
Yeah.
Because people are not going to pay attention to people inside cars.
No, of course. But just find somewhere private is my point. Bathrooms are ubiquitous. So if nothing else, you have that as an option is my point.
Anyway, it was a big thing on Twitter. I just kind of wanted to get everybody's idea. I think Costin is the only person who's saying that we're out of our minds.
Yeah, I mean, he's allowed to have his opinion. That's fine.
No. I mean, he's got a point that, Americans are very prude people. We're very prudish people. Yeah. It's funny how we left England to come over here and have freedom of our religion, but not freedom of our bodies by comparison. Yeah. Isn't that kind of weird?
I mean, I'm Australian and I'm agreeing with you. I think it's a bit much to just, whip it out in public. I think, just some basic decorum is appreciated. Just cover yourself up.
Yeah. Well,
even if it's just like a handkerchief that you just put over the breast in the baby's head, so that you're at least covering up. You're not.
Like I said, most of the cases are probably like the one I said, snarkily, like women who are up their own ass and overhyped. But like, I hope I can find that one for you, Keith. But I highly doubt it, because he was calling out this woman for her videos, and she's kind of a big Instagram. I would be like, if I can find him, I'll try to find his video. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's one of those things where he would have had to take it down.
Yeah.
Over on the Rumble chat, Tia says KVD wants lactation porn.
Like, I'm not gonna lie. I I don't save everything I find. Like, I really should, but just because, like, yeah, I've gone through the YouTube part where I don't know these people off by heart. Like, I remember channel names for the most part, but there's some people that I'm not familiar to. And he does kind of a call out thing. So I don't know if he's part of the drama section of it. But yeah, he had all these videos of this woman, and I don't think she's the overall example. I think she was just one of those outliers where you're like, wow, lady, why don't you just take it off a cliff? Why don't you? You
Is
know,
that
what extreme
that
versions of it.
Is that a Canadian accent thing, or is that just you doing that? You called it drama?
Me.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's I do stuff like that too. There was a much younger point in my life. I used to call, what was the name of the car? It's not an El Camino. There's an older car. I used to intentionally change the emphasis on the syllables, the emphasis on the syllable kind of deal.
Yeah.
I can't remember what car it was though. It wasn't an El Camino, but it was another car that I used to intentionally misspeak on purpose. And I don't remember what it is now, but I was just wondering because you said drama so naturally. I thought, oh, is that how they say it in Canada? Is it drama there? I don't know.
I've always said drama, but yeah.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, I call Canada Canada on purpose.
Yeah, but that's just a troll.
And I know, but it's almost natural now. I do it so often. I do it without paying attention. So
Jesus.
It's like Della and his boots.
yeah.
I'm sure he messes up and says it like that in his real life. It's at various
He's
points.
letting everyone know, yes, I am Canadian. All right, that's okay. But yeah, I mean, just to get off the topic, because we've been talking about it for half an hour. But my initial reaction, you know how I am when it comes to this kind of stuff. My initial reaction. Thank you, Assassin, for linking the show. I appreciate it. And also, hello, Assassin. Oh, and Johnny Blaze is in chat. Hello.
Yeah, and he likes boobs, which is a position I can respect.
Man after my own heart. Now I forgot what I was talking about. Oh yes. My natural reaction when I first got into this was like, there are women out there who will not breastfeed in public. And there are women out there who will discreetly breastfeed in public. And then there are women out there who are intentionally not covering up so they can see if they can get a man's reaction.
Yeah.
That was my initial cut. So that's why I wanted to talk to you guys about it to see if that came up at all with you guys too. But you covered all three anyway. So that's what's important.
With the pronunciation thing, Keevan's bringing up aluminium, which you Americans say funny.
Yeah. We say funny. Yeah. It's Z. Okay.
Well,
there's no
not,
D.
but...
It's not 3 letters. It's not ZED. It's 1 letter.
It's Z. It's Z. It is Z.
It's not.
The Z's outvote the Z on this one. So you
but it's soup cereal.
No, it's not.
You see the point I'm making. This is silly stuff to talk about.
So I'm gonna post that link in the chat.
You found it?
But I'm just letting you know the lady in question. Yeah, like even the 10 seconds of what he was like pre-promoting for his video when he was describing this lady, I'm like, yeah, I don't want to rewatch that again. She was vile. But yeah, if you click on that, yeah, the lady's not a good example of motherhood.
I got called out today for a comment I made about porn. I thought it was something innocent, but then I realized that this could probably be taken the wrong way. There was a picture showing how all different kind of cats, when they stretch, they all look the same. They all put their chest on the ground, put their arms straight out, and stick their ass up in the air.
Yeah,
it's a very feline move. Almost all. I mean, your cat does. All members of the cat family do it. Even lions and tigers and panthers and all of them. They all do it. And I said, there's a porn category called face down, ass up. And I posted it like, ha ha ha. And then people were like, dude, how do you know that? I was like, no, it's just oh shit. I shouldn't have probably posted that.
There's a reason that every single person knows the cat move that you're describing because it is ubiquitous across all cats. It's like, everyone knows exactly what you're referring to.
Yeah. And I thought I would just be, kind of cute. Like, there's a Pornhub category for everything was my point. you know, but instead I got like, do you want to have sex with cats from behind? Is that what you're saying? I'm like, what's going on here? I just made a
Rule
stupid little.
34.
I was like,
If it exists, there is porn of it.
yeah, that's right. Rule 34. There's actually a website called Rule 34.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
You know,
Anyway.
it's a thing too, though. If you stop watching, okay. So anime people know what I'm saying when you stumble upon anime porn, even if you didn't mean to or you did mean to, and it goes from something that's like, okay, that makes sense. It's a regular couple to, oh my god, it's got tentacles and
Yeah.
aliens, an invasive body species, and all number of
Tentacle
Rule
porn.
34.
The tentacle thing, I believe, is because they're not legally allowed to show penises, and this is the
Yeah, so they show this
the most
instead.
they can get away with in Japan without having to blur it all out.
The thing about, for me, you know, maybe I'm different than everybody else. I don't know. I'm not a special kind of guy, at least not in that way, but I don't understand. Anime just doesn't do anything. Cartoons and anime and manga and hentai, none of them do anything for me in any way, shape, or form. I just, because it's drawn, I can't see myself in it. So it doesn't excite me. So if it's tentacles or whatever it is, it doesn't matter. I just cannot relate to it. That's the reason why I don't like anime. I mean, the only thing that draws me into Archer is the voices. It's not what I'm seeing, it's what I'm hearing. The sound of the guy who does Archer, I forget the guy's name. If you look at Archer, I'm sorry?
I said no idea what his name is.
Oh, yeah. If you look at the character drawn, he's this very suave, debonair, tan, black hair, very masculine guy. But the actor is like what's the guy from the movie? Oh shit.
The guy from the movie.
The guy from that he's got like orange hair. He does this dance in the movie. One of his friends is running for a high school office or something like that. What the fuck? Oh, Napoleon Dynamite. He looks like the guy from Napoleon Dynamite. He's completely not the guy in the he's like the polar opposite. And the girl who plays Lana, and I don't know if you guys have seen Archer, you know what I'm talking about. But the girl who plays Anna is a black 6'1" comedian. And she's gorgeous. And it's just like they took her real, they did her like you know, cartoonized her and made her appropriate size and put her, it looks just like her. If you've ever seen Archer and you've seen Lana and Archer, that's what this girl looks like. Except that in Archer, she's not 6'1". She's still tall, but not 6'1". So, and I know her voice from I listen to her as a comedian. So that's the only reason I can get into Archer. But if you were to come to me and say, I'm going to watch, you know, Akira, I'd be like, yeah, I'm not watching that. You know, I just had no interest, just no interest at all. Am I the only person like that? Does anybody else feel the same way I do? Please say you do. I don't want to feel like a crazy man here.
I mean, I don't have a problem with anime. I don't watch it myself. But I mean, I watched Pokemon as a kid or a teenager, and that's an anime.
I used to watch Star Trek. It was only 2 seasons of the animated thing, but I'm listening to Kirk. I'm listening. It was the original actors.
Yeah, but like I watched the Ninja Turtles, which isn't an anime, but it is a cartoon, and it's drawn. It's got all the same issues that you just described.
Yeah.
So I never had a problem with animated. I mean, I grew up on video games where, you know, heavy anime influence in a lot of Japanese video games. So I guess I just grew up with it, so I'm used to it.
What about you, Jen? Are you into anime or?
Yes and no. I would say I took a break from anime 100% of the time from the fandoms.
Aisha Tyler, that's her name. Sorry, go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was really into anime growing up. I'm kind of like Terry in the sense that I was just kind of, I like cartoons. I like the style of the art. I didn't mind anime. I'd say I pulled away from it because of the fandom. Like most fandoms are okay. I don't got an issue with most comic fandoms, but the anime community is so like vicious about their canons with some people that you kind of lose interest in it over time. Like I still like going back every once in a while, like, you know, favorite anime is a favorite anime, same as a favorite story. Like if you're really into Lord of the Ring, you're gonna go back and read those again.
I've been told that Samurai Pizza Cats counts as an anime. I wouldn't have thought it would, but I've been told that it does. So I've seen Pokemon, I've seen Samurai Pizza Cats, and then when Gabby was streaming years and years ago, she was watching some chick with like some small chick with big tits, and it was like
Gabby?
Uzaki wants to hang out or something weird like that. So I ended up seeing one episode of that as well.
Who's Gabby?
Gabby G Wiz. Johnny
Oh,
Wiz.
our Gabby G Wiz. Okay, all right. I know who you're talking about. She's been on our streams.
Yeah. But she was streaming on D Live with Vince, and they were watching Uzaki, I think is her name, wants to hang out. Wow. It's just like this midget with giant tits, and it's like, yeah, okay. I've now seen a third anime, and I've only seen that one episode of it.
I did see Akira when I was younger, which was a kind of a breakout anime in its time. It was like wow, look at this movie. Akira was like just crazy good, and everybody wanted to watch it at the time that it came out. And so I watched it with everyone else. So I was kind of gross. All right. Didn't have any emotional impact on me whatsoever. Everyone's looking at me back then like, you don't think this is awesome? I was like, yeah. I basically had the same attitude towards it that you have.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, it's all right. But I just can't, I haven't seen anything ever, no matter what it is. It could be just a regular cartoon. It could be a regular anime. It could be hentai. It could be anything. It doesn't matter. I feel bad because like, you look at my timeline and people are talking about anime like all the time in my timeline. I'm like, skip that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's not for me. It's not for me, but I mean, I don't have a problem with the general aesthetic. Like I said, I've played a ton of video games that have an anime style to them. I got no problem with the art style or anything. It's just I've never sat down and really watched anime except for Pokemon as a teenager and Pizza Cats.
Well,
there are some things that are. Oh, go ahead, Jeff.
Well, we're also a little bit culturally different, though. Like, I mean, even for you both, like, you're not in the age range where you're necessarily seeking out something that appears to be a cartoon. Like, yeah, I bet you anything that you understand that the context of these cartoons has nothing to do with cartoons, but you're still seeing a cartoon.
I mean, I watched South Park. That was a cartoon. I enjoyed South Park all the way as an adult.
But 100%, the context of that it's geared towards you.
Right. That's my point. Is that you can't sure, I'm not in the target demographic for a lot of things, but I mean, there are adult animes. I've just never sat down and watched any of them because I've got 2,000 video games. I'm fine. I don't need to watch anime on top of everything else I got going.
Assassin in chat says only a loser uses a first initial. If you do not like your first name, ignore it. And here's something that nobody knows. I should probably say this for the next Clippers United, but two truths and a lie, I think, or is that Frosted's thing? I forget who does what, but in any case.
Okay, so at the end of Fibbage, there's tell a truth and a lie about yourself.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Right. I don't go by my first name. I go by my middle name.
So and Hammer is your middle name. Okay.
And when I sign something that's a legal document, it's my first initial, my middle name, and last name.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of Americans seem to do that. I can't think of examples off the top of my head, but I've looked up actors' real names, and a lot of the time the name that they're known by is actually their middle name. Like, I wish I could think of someone, but
no, I've heard people do that. Like my name would be like R. Thomas Bennington or something like that.
Yeah,
and people who know me would call me Tom. Even though my first name was Robert or something like that, Of course, none of those are true, but that's just an example.
No, we don't expect you to give away your real
My name is THUR. Exactly. Everyone calls me Newton.
But like Pearl, just Pearly Things. Her real name is Hannah, but she goes by Pearl because that's her middle name.
I think she's fallen into the same mistake that a lot of women who don't understand the same advice that I was saying earlier. Women like attention.
Mhm.
And then they go and they seek attention, and they don't understand that, yeah, you're going to get all the attention. So anything that you've put out there, yeah, they're going to seek that out too. So while Pearly might have started off with like, yeah, she got backing because she was good on Vice, and she's been pretty good on a couple things. But at some point, people are going to look for any flaw that you have, and they don't care. Plus, you can't be right about everything all the time. And when you come from a position of authority, yeah, people are absolutely going to go after you deliberately because you're coming from a position of authority, because they got to knock you out. That is humanity. I have some sympathy for her because she's 23, and yeah, that's you're gonna have to fix that now, darling. Like, get rid of as much of that stuff as you still can. It's on there. They're gonna find it, but get rid of it. And understand that you're 23. You have a lot of life to live before you are coming from a position where a lot of people are going to take you seriously. Doesn't mean you don't have life experience. 23 is still living for 23 years. But also, the people who are taking advice from Brittany Venti need to understand that, yeah, she's significantly older than Pearly, and she's kind of gross.
I hate
it.
Let me interrupt you really quick for chat, because there's a couple things that are going by I don't want to miss. Spud got your example for you, Terry. C. Thomas Howell.
Oh, there you go.
First initial, middle name, last name. And then Pearl is Pearl Davis. I mean, you say her first name was Hannah?
Yes.
Yeah, Hannah Pearl Davis. She has a channel called Just Pearly Things, and she talks about male and female interrelations, and she's pretty popular. So if you get a chance to check her out, Assassin, you might enjoy the content. I don't know. I don't know if it's something you'd like, but she's pretty popular. Kind of like the Whatever podcast, Fresh and Fit, Ab and Preach. It's all kind of in that same sphere, talking about interpersonal relationships and dating, that kind of stuff. So if you get a chance, you might want to just listen to one and see if it's something that you like. But I enjoy Pearl. I know there's people out there who have problems with her. I understand, but I like her content. But I don't really want to get speaking into Pearl too much, because we'll be here all night. I have so much to say about that. So I don't, we can dedicate a whole show to that later or something like that if people really want to talk about it. But yeah, that's who that is. That's just Pearly Things on YouTube, one word. So if you want to know who that is.
I mean, I'm neutral. I'm neutral towards her. She's got some good points. She's got some silly things that she said. It's like everyone. You pick the good out from the bad, and you can't agree with anyone 100%, because that's just not how life works.
Also, there's this assertion that we're putting everybody on these pedestals, and it's like, no, she had some good points. It's not a bad thing to have her talk. She's going to have bad points too. But what I saw from Brittany and the people who are backing her on that behavior, and I'm like, you really don't want to know the kind of shit that Brittany's been into. Oof. And you certainly don't want somebody to compile it in the same manner that she did for Pearly. Because Brittany has a long line of vile things that she herself has done. And I'm just saying, Ab and Preach aren't clean either. Just because everything isn't on the internet doesn't mean people can't find it. And I'm not putting stuff out there because I don't know those guys.
Yeah.
But that's how the internet works. I don't need to know that you've done vile things to know that somebody will find it. Someday somebody will find it.
Brittany was banned from Twitch. She doesn't have a clean, and she's been banned from YouTube, Twitter, just about every platform. She's been banned at one point or another for making really bad comments, ethnic kind of comments.
Oh dear.
Yeah. So yeah.
I don't know much about Brittany Venti. I've heard of her, but I've not really paid much attention to her.
One of those girls that you look at and you think her house must smell like cat pee.
Yes. But she's also the kind of person to absolutely chug as much cola as she can before her streams, because I think she gets a little bit of money for the burping, and she'll do it in such a wet way that you think that you're listening to Barney from Simpsons. And I'm like, listen, I can handle the odd burp because I'm an adult, but she'll do it as often as she can, as vile as she can. She gets a kick out of burping wetly into your ear. And I'm like, I'm sorry, that is one of those things that'll have me never listen to you again. It just is.
Yeah.
Just is.
I don't know anything about this Brittany Venti, except that she did a video hating on Pearl. That's it. That's my exposure to Brittany Venti.
That is just a me thing though. Like I won't discount your opinion. I'll just read it from somebody else so I don't have to listen to your wet burps, because that's gross.
Yeah, no, I don't like the sound of belching.
You came up with a good point though. There are people out there. I get a lot of shit because I kind of defend Andrew Tate a little bit. Because you have to understand how media works with this kind of stuff. It shocks me that people don't get this. But if Andrew Tate says something good, nobody notices. If Andrew Tate says something bad, it explodes like a sun on fire for billions of years, and everybody knows about it.
Yes.
You can't just say, well, Andrew Tate said women is property, therefore he's bad. No. Listen to what he said. He didn't say women are property. He said women are like, you have to treat women not as property, but like property. There's nuance there, and people don't get that. And I'm not saying treat women as property. No, that's wrong. But what he's saying is, and people don't get this because they don't get the nuance, women are important to you like something you just bought. They're important to you. So you must treat them appropriately. That's what he's saying.
I mean, I haven't heard this particular quote, but from what I've seen of Andrew Tate, I would think that he was going to make the argument that if men have responsibility for women, then they have rights over them. Therefore, they are, in effect, the man's property. Even if, like, she's an individual, he's just saying that if you expect the men to have responsibility over someone, they also need to have rights over that person, like what they can and can't do, because you can't be responsible for someone if you have no authority over them. If they can do whatever they want, it's not fair to then blame you for their actions.
Yeah, that was a separate thing. That was another instance where he was talking about property. That's not the same one as me.
Okay.
But immediately women get, not every woman, I don't want to do that. No. A lot of women get upset about this because they think he's denigrating them in some way. But I don't see how he is. Just people assume property means that he puts a chain around your neck and he drags him behind you like a puppy dog or something like that. Not what he's saying, you know? No. And I got tired of trying to stick up for him. Everyone was just blasting me. I was just like, all right, I'm going to shut up about this. It's not that important to me.
I think Andrew Tate quite intelligently chooses to phrase things in a way that lends itself to misinterpretation.
Yeah, they could be misconstrued. Yeah,
he will say things that are quite sensible, but he'll phrase them in a way that at first glance seems like he's saying something crazy and offensive.
Is he doing that to just garner attention, or is he just stupid? Or
he's doing it on purpose.
He is doing it on purpose. I think part of it is to weed out the women, because I'm going to be real. A lot of the women that go onto his shows and get really upset about that stuff treat themselves like they are exactly that, a luxury good. They demand all of these things that you would have to have if you were a luxury good. I'm saying that, like, if you were a high-end car, yeah, you come with all the shit that comes with owning one of those. Yeah, if you ding it, you got to pay for it. Yeah, you do anything wrong with it, you got to pay for it. These women get offended that he isn't even saying that.
Oh,
sorry, my phone's gone off. Give me a second.
Okay, no worries.
Is that Born Free?
What was that song? I 100% think it's on purpose, the way he phrases things, because he knows that, first of all, it's going to grab people's attention. And secondly, once it does, he can then explain himself. And the people that he cares about, which is his audience, will say, oh, yeah, no, they totally blew that out of proportion. And the people that he doesn't care about, which is all the people who aren't even going to listen to his explanation, they hate him. And so they spread him around as like, can you believe this arsehole? And then that just gets his face and name spread even further across the internet. So I think it's very calculated.
He did a video and I bookmarked it and then he deleted it.
Oh,
And I'm not sure if it was from his account. I just bookmarked it because I saw it. It could have been from
Okay.
someone else's account. It could have been from Pearly that she deleted. I'm not sure where it was from, but I was like, I listened to it and I was like, I got to bookmark this. And I bookmarked it and I went back and looked at it for like a month later and it was gone. I was like, fuck, now I don't know how to get it, but it's a talk that he has. And I think it was actually on Pearl's show. It's a talk that he said that he says, and see, people don't get this. They think Tate is all bad. But what he says is, women are the most important thing on earth. We die for you. We work for you. We worship you. It's important that you survive. I give my life to make sure you survive. That's how important women are. Does that sound like a guy who treats women bad?
No.
It's also that, like I said, I think a lot of these women are literally projecting what they think of themselves onto him. Because if you are treating yourself like you think yours, like they want to amp themselves up like there's some kind of high luxury good. I'm like, no, you're a human being. Yeah. That is what you are. That is how he is treating you as. And yet, yeah, there is that certain sense of claim. Well, he wants to, like, if he's in a relationship with you, then yeah, there is a sense of claim because he's claiming you as his partner. That is a sense of claim, just like you would be. You know, there is that sense of, like, it doesn't mean you own the person, but you are claiming that part of that person. And they act like that's not what he's saying either. And yeah, that is what he's saying. And a lot of these women are too dumb to express what a lot of women really kind of think. And I'm not speaking for all women because all women should just speak for themselves. Some women are a lot more intelligent about it than me. But honestly, half the time it's just the want to express myself in the same way that men kind of do in a little sense. Like there are some things where we do actually have a lot of things in common. And those are the things where we really want to stretch. And a lot of women have too many other women talking for them because like men, we're all individuals. Not every woman wants the same thing. So you've got some women who are like, we all want this. And we're like, no, I think that's you speaking about what you want.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I mean, a good example of that is we don't want men approaching us like out of the blue. It's like, okay, we'll stop. It's like, why won't men approach me anymore? Because other women ruined it for you.
Yeah. I have a video that I tried to tweet out. I converted it into a format that could be tweeted and all that kind of stuff. And I tried to tweet it out and Twitter wouldn't allow me to send it. It came up and said 99% complete and it just sat there. It never finished. But it's this, I guess she's from Scotland. I'm trying to, can I play it? Can I play it? I probably could play it, but I'm not set up for it. I'll play it to you guys after the show's over. I'll play it on StreamYard. But
Okay.
but she's one of those women, very pretty girl. And she's literally screaming at the top of her lungs that she doesn't want men to approach her anymore.
Okay.
I'm like, well, which one is it? Do you want us to approach you or not? Because we're getting mixed messages here, ladies. Which way were we supposed to be going? Why don't men approach us anymore?
I'm quite happy
don't
to
ever
not
approach me.
Women.
Yeah,
I'm quite happy to not approach women. That is, I'm fine with that.
To be honest with you, you know, I've really never really approached a woman in my life. Not once. Every relationship that I've gotten into has been, I wouldn't say she started it, but she made it clear to me that she wanted me to pursue her.
Right.
You know, and I've never, not once in my life walked up to a woman and say, hi, my name's Hammer. How you doing? Never done that ever. It's always been mutual friends, or the woman has walked up to me, or we just have to be next to each other in the bar and she started the conversation. I've never actually done that. I've never actually approached a woman. So I've never actually been rejected.
Yeah, I mean, I've never asked a woman out directly either. It just sort of happens. You kind of spend time with her, and then before you know it, feelings start rising up, and it just kind of happens naturally. That's not necessarily something that I would go, excuse me, I find you quite fetching. Would you care to accompany me on a date? It's like, no. It's just, you know, you spend time and
somehow that sounds completely appropriate from somebody in Australia. I don't think an American man could say that and get away with it. Jen, do me a favor and read what Spun Gun sent in chat.
Okay, let me.
Next to the last line.
What do we want? We don't know. When do we want it? Now.
It's not just that. It's them pushing that onto other women. So, like, naturally, we're all confused all the time because they push that shit everywhere.
Yeah.
In all honesty, it's probably not even that difficult. Like, yeah, I am looking at the past because it was more simple. And that's part of what makes it more attractive. Do I think we should go back there? No, because we have a lot of really good things right now. But it's the simplicity of it. Like they've overhyped things to the point where like they don't even know what they want. They want fictional things that they've made up in fan fiction that's not going to happen. And I get so like it's so hard to just get back to normal.
I remember that Dr. Phil show where he had a woman on that was looking for a husband, and she had 3 pages of requirements, 180 bullet points of things that she wanted in a husband. It's like, that guy doesn't exist. It does not exist.
No, of course not. Did you see the Aber and Preach where they had that really picky woman on the button? And like every time she said, oh no, my type is tall, they give it like the tallest dude. Like, no, he's got to do this. So they keep like giving her men. It's like she just keeps rejecting all of them. It's like, we don't think we've got a man for you.
For you. It's that little female voice they use as the person who runs the button.
Yeah.
That kind of voice, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think we have a person for you.
I think I need to watch more of those the button things on the like
Jubilee.
I only ever see them through Aber and Preach. I should actually go over to the Jubilee.
The problem with Jubilee is they have some shows that are really good and they have some shows that are really bad.
Of course.
So, I mean, I like Odd Man Out. Well, it used to be called Odd Man Out, but not anymore.
Did you see the one, the one white guy in like
all the black guys? Yeah, that was, and they didn't kick him out. He completely, because he grew up in the culture. I had that conversation today with another guy on Twitter because I live there, and he was telling me about how white people are this and black people are this and white people are that. I was like, dude, it's not racial. This is entirely cultural. He was complaining about, I'm not even sure if I want to say this on YouTube, but how some people are more violent than other people. I'll leave it as in that frame. And he was trying to base it on race. I was like, dude, has nothing to do about race. You put 2 guys, regardless of race, in the same situation, and they're both going to act generally the same way. You put them both in a bad position, they're both going to be thugs. You put them in a good position, and generally they're going to both be successful people. It's just, it's cultural.
That Odd Man Out video was like the introduction to that was brilliant. It was like, I'm black. And then as I guess he's like, I'm white.
And he smiles and he kind of leans into the camera, makes eye contact. I thought that was brilliant. And he was like the 3rd man from the right in that lineup. And he was never suspected the entire time.
No,
because they all have, for people who haven't seen this episode of Jubilee, they lined up like 7 or 8, 9 men, put blindfolds on them. And they were, they walked them on the set with somebody bringing, like they were blind. Somebody brought them on the set and set them on the set to talk. So they didn't see each other in any way. And then they proceeded to vote people out. That's what Odd Man Out is. Every round they have a talk. They talk about their experiences or whatever, and people ask questions, and they decide on something. They kick him out if they think he's the imposter. And they kicked out the group of mostly, except for one white guy, all black guys. They kicked out all the other black guys, and the white guy won at the end.
Yeah,
because he lived his entire life amongst black people in a specific culture. So he was
5 guys that got voted out before they decided to call it, and then because the rule is if the white guy is voted out, the black guys win. If they decide no, it's time to stop, we've eliminated the mole, and they haven't, then the white guy wins. And they got it down to like 4 people left, and they said no, we've definitely voted him out. And so okay,
was that the Odd Man episode where the guy who was the imposter voted? Kick himself out.
Well, no, he said, the vote was, do you want to go another round? And he's like, yeah, let's go another round.
Yes. He had it made. He could have said no, and he would have won right there. But he gets all the money,
confident.
so why? He gets all the money in either case, so why did he go another round?
No, I think just to prove that he could.
It's pretty funny. No one's ever done that before. He's the only person that ever did that. But there are episodes of Jubilee that are great. I mean, that's one of them. The one where they agree or disagree with the prompt, and they strongly agree, mildly agree.
Yes.
You know, that whatever that's called, that's a good one. But there's a lot of them that are really. There's one that they have like a truth or dare with cards, and if they don't want to answer, they have to drink.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one too.
That's pretty good. I can't remember the bad ones. I stopped following Jubilee because I got tired of the bad ones.
Fair enough. I've only seen Jubilee through Aberrant Preach, and obviously they're going to pick the good ones because that gets them better views.
Right.
So I've seen the ones you're talking about, but those are all the good ones. I don't know what the bad ones would be.
Yeah, if there was a way, because you know what was the other one? The ones that Aberrant Preach do is a girl picking out guys or a guy picking out girls. There's that's another format of theirs where they slowly move the curtain up so you can see more and more of the person.
Oh yeah, I know the one.
That's another one of theirs. That's pretty good. So anyway, not to recommend Jubilee. I don't follow them anymore. I followed them for a while. I don't follow them anymore.
I mean, I'm actually tempted to maybe not subscribe, but go over to their page and just watch a few of their videos.
Go through the videos, yeah.
Because I've only seen the Aberrant Preach stuff, which they're not even showing the full video. They're clipping the bits they want to talk about.
No, they show almost nothing of the videos. There's another format where they have like 10 people, and they have one person separate from the 10 people, and this person is trying to make a life decision. And the 10 people can stand on two pads. One pad is to go one way with the decision, and the other pad is to go the other way with the decision. And they walk back and forth between the pads as they talk to this person about the predicament they're in, on which way they should make the decision. And at the end, the person says, okay, I've listened to everybody talk. I've answered all the questions. I've decided to go this way. And then that person does it in real life, and they check back with them later. That's another one that's pretty good. So, how you doing, Jen? It's 10 after.
I'm good. Outside of eyeballing my bathroom, I'm actually pretty good. It's usually how it goes with the stream.
Why are you eyeballing your bathroom?
Because I have to go to the bathroom.
Oh, well,
what other reason do you eyeball your bathroom?
Just get up and go. It's not a big deal.
All right, I'll be right back.
All right. But yeah, I mean, like I said, if it wasn't for, they have some really sexist and anti-conservative, well, I wouldn't say anti.
There's
yeah,
a very strong leaning politically that is inescapable.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely. If you're sensitive to that, like I am, it really turns me off when they have an episode like that. There's also Jubilee also has one where, they have 6 chairs and they have 3 people from one ideology and 3 people from the other ideology, and they give them a prompt. And if people believe in it, they come and sit down and talk about it. And the people who disagree wait, and they come and sit down and talk about it. That's another one that's pretty good. So they have all these different formats, but there's a couple in there where the person who was running that episode was a hard lefty. And she was just asking questions like, do you think we should kill, I mean, not this exact question, but she was very much the kind of person who would say, do you think we should kill all men? You know, that's how bad she was. And I was like, I can't fucking watch this channel anymore. And I just like, boom, I'm out.
I wish there was sort of like a what if device where we could show them the future that they're advocating. You want to kill all men? This is what that looks like. Yeah. And then it's like, oh no, this is 12 hours after we've killed all men, by the way.
Yeah, this is 24 hours after we kill all men.
And then the entire civilization is in disarray and broken.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, killing either sex outright is just dooming the entire species because you have no way to procreate. Oh. So it's stupid to even do that. It's a low intellectual thing. You have to be really, really severely dumb to actually advocate for something like that.
But I think killing all the women means that there can never be a future generation, obviously.
Right.
But killing all the men means the current generation is like not going to have any of the infrastructure that it relies on.
Right. Because I know this is going to sound sexist, but everything that you deal with on a regular basis required men.
Yeah, to
You
build
know?
and maintain.
Yeah,
It's
if it
just a
wasn't
fact.
for men, there would be no electricity. There'd be no running water. The car that you drive wouldn't exist. The road that you would drive on doesn't exist. The clothes that you wear wouldn't exist. The jewelry you wear didn't exist. Your BBL wouldn't have never happened.
Mhm.
You know, if you look at all the things that required men to be involved, and you take all those things away, then you're right. Within X amount of time, there are people dying from starvation. There's nobody
Oh,
to
very
run.
much so. Yeah.
There's no farmers left because most farmers are men. I mean, it's just, you start thinking about these things and you're like, well, we would be, not that we should kill all women. I'm not saying that, babies, human
Yeah,
species.
I saw Frosted's chat, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to read that on YouTube, so I won't. But that is an interesting compromise. I will give you that.
Thing is, we can't be held responsible for chat as long as we don't read it.
There you go.
But see, Frosted, you should get here earlier and be on Rumble so we can read stuff like that and laugh about it. We can't do that here because YouTube's. I wish we could go longer, but Jen has to go to sleep, and I.
Right. If this was any channel other than Minions, I'd read it out. But
Yeah, you would.
But I don't want to get the Minions
Yeah,
channel.
please don't get the channel banned. I've already done it. I've already done that myself once, and I don't want to have somebody on my show do it too. And people in the Minions are going to hate me. I'm going to get thrown out as founder.
That's why I'm saying any other channel, like if this was Gunskys or Frosteds or Hellcats, I'd just read it out, but not on the Minions.
Yeah, we'd be permanently on Rumble, which is not a bad thing. You guys should come watch us on Rumble too. But
the deal is, I'm the only person in the Minions who thinks so. Everyone's really married to YouTube, and I'm definitely not.
No, I mean I'm not. If it was feasible to move entirely to Rumble, then I'd say do it. But I think
technically for us it is. It's more feasible for us than anybody else. If you monetize, it's bad, and we don't monetize. So for us.
No, I get it, but if there's people who are worried about the viewership, because viewership's going to be less on Rumble just because fewer people have accounts there.
But people who are watching us, people who are watching us on YouTube love us. They would come over. People in chat, people in chat.
A lot of people do.
If you would come over to us, type 1 in chat right now, and we'll see how many people actually say they would come over to Rumble.
If you're someone who takes that seriously, and I don't think you really should with the Minions because it's not a competition, it's just to me, it's always just been friends hanging out. I don't think
it's definitely not it's not a competition. I kind of troll a little bit when it comes to that kind of stuff because I'm proud of my show. And it's not to put anybody else down. It's just that I like what we have. We have a good thing going here. So.
No, but I'm just saying that if you do take it seriously in terms of viewership, then I can understand the hesitance to move purely over to Rumble because the audience is going to be much smaller.
Yeah, for me, I'm not saying that anybody from Minions should leave YouTube. That's definitely not what I'm saying. Is I have considered doing the Wednesday show only on Rumble.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And the rest of the Minions, our Minions, there's a rule that we have for Minions that we've had ever since day one, is that each host has full autonomy over their show. They do what they want. They run it when they want. They format it the way they want. They talk about what they want. Nobody has a right to tell any other host what they do. They have total autonomy over the show. Even though it's a shared channel, as long as you don't do something that gets us banned, you have full rights to do whatever you want. But we never really discussed moving off of YouTube. And I don't know if that's even allowed in our group. I mean, I'm a founder, but I have the same vote as everybody else does. If everybody said to me, no, don't go to Rumble, I would have to listen to everybody because that's a basis of what the show is about. We've been on YouTube for 6 years, You don't want to just leave because that's going to affect everybody else too,
Yeah.
I think it'll be this year when people really decide what they're going to want to do. And I'm saying that based off of what YouTube themselves are doing. So it hasn't necessarily hit everyone in our group. Once it starts hitting people in our immediate group, yeah, I can see people starting to move. YouTube is starting to go after people a lot more sincerely. Like it's noticeable. Like everybody knows somebody who is probably moving the majority of their stuff, if not to Rumble, then to Kick. It's just a matter of time. So I recommend that people are doing both, because everybody who's kind of big already kind of is. It's just a matter of whether or not they choose Rumble or not. That's kind of the hit and the miss on what platform is going to hit the biggest amount of people. Rumble has the thing where they don't have as much normie stuff. Like, I don't know about Kick because I haven't checked out Kick. I get the impression Kick is picking up more of like the gaming aspect of it.
Oh, it's
so I
definitely a
don't know.
Twitch clone.
But it is going to make that difference, you know. And I like that we talk about politics, but we also talk about other things too. Like, oftentimes you guys are talking about movies and games and things, so we're switching it up. But Rumble is going to be the place where a lot of people are going to be poking their noses in a little bit more, because everybody now has at least one YouTuber that they know is struggling so much on not getting flagged to shit out on YouTube. Like Trippy Cast was, you know, I didn't get a chance to see what he was doing as much because I don't follow him as much. I just know that he got hit. He got his stuff back, by the way. But I know that he was on I know he was on Rumble for the most of the time that he was off. And that's difficult if people aren't at least checking. And I'm not putting pressure on you guys. Like, I know people like their YouTube, and some people prefer Twitch in the oddest way. You know, I don't know why.
Rumble has Crowder, and now Rumble's trying to get Tucker off of Twitter. Have you heard about that? They're trying to get him off Twitter because that's where he's going. Carlson's going to Twitter.
Yeah, I knew he was going to Twitter. I didn't know Rumble's
trying to get him. They sent out a tweet on Twitter saying, Twitter is not great for video format. You come to Rumble, we'll take care of you.
Yeah. Well, I think Twitter is trying to move into that space with videos. So.
Sure. They're going to rename it to X. They're going to rename Twitter to X.
That's weird.
It is weird. That's like the same thing they did with
Facebook.
Facebook. Meta. Yeah. That was a mistake. Don't change the name.
I mean, I don't know a single person who refers to it as Meta. Everyone still calls it Facebook.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. You can't control people. I said if you were going to move to, if you'd be willing to move to watching us on Rumble, type 1 in chat, and Tall Person typed 1 in Rumble chat.
Well, I mean, he did it on both.
I know, but it's just, obviously you're going to do it on Rumble. You are on Rumble chat.
Yeah.
I just thought that was funny. It made me laugh.
But yeah, no, I don't mind people holding out a little bit on the YouTubes either, because I mean, like, you get into your habits, and all honesty, maybe the push will be just that one day where we can't do it on there anymore, and you know what, hold out for that if that's what you want to do. Rub it in their faces for as long as we can. That, hey, we're still here. We're still here. Look at us.
I mean, I think a lot of the political stuff is going to move to Rumble, but as I've pointed out many times, if I want to watch, you know, Brian F or Justin Wong play fighting games, I can't do that on Rumble. They aren't over there. They're YouTube and Twitch, and I'm not going to go to Twitch.
Yeah, it's that too. Yeah. I have been joking that we need to get some cat people on here. Like, I know people are, oh God, cat videos. But no, honestly, get cat videos. Six, you gotta get on Rumble with your cat.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you follow him on Twitter, you will get at least 10 cat videos a day.
Oh, absolutely.
It's actually a good thing because most of my Twitter is awful, and he actually does make me smile when I see. So it does work. It does work.
He's also a good curator because he picks good cat stuff to like.
They're good
to share. It's not just, oh look, there's a cat. Click. No. He picks the stuff that's actually really cute or
interesting. Yeah. Frosted said in YouTube chat, Hammer needs to stage a coup and take over minions. No, I certainly do not need to do that at all. Of all the people in the group, I'm the one who has to walk on eggshells more than everybody else. Trust me, being founder is not a fun thing.
And sadly, the end siren has started blaring. Mr. United has joined us.
Oh yeah, there he is. I had to scroll back down because I had scrolled up to read Frosted. Yeah, we have to end the show pretty soon because he's here now. He has a black icon. That tells you something. Anyway, Assassin says, Hammer, split the show. Talk about G-rated things here. Then go to Rumble for the hardcore discussions. And we're already doing that. Rumble has a pre-show. We're on there roughly 20 minutes before the YouTube show starts. And the Rumble pre-show is not G-rated. That's for sure. So,
I just like the idea of, and that's why the Jews are, hello, YouTube.
yeah. I mean, I would have liked to do a post show, but we would have to start the show earlier. And I don't think everybody's available at an earlier time. And Jen can't stay past 10 because she has to catch her beauty sleep. She doesn't have to catch much because she's gorgeous, but she still has to catch her beauty sleep.
To be rested for
yeah, I have to be able to function so I don't end up squishing myself in the box crusher.
So
I don't think I'm that stupid when I'm tired, but
we are time constrained. I would definitely like to do the Crowder / Shapiro kind of format where we talk on YouTube for an hour and then end YouTube and then speak another half an hour on Rumble about whatever the hell we want, or on Rumble, whatever the fuck we want. I like to be able to do that, but we're just time just doesn't work out. And I am too married to the Wednesday show to change anything at this point. We have the perfect crew at the perfect time. I'm happy with the way things are. We'll do a little bit of a pre-show. So if you want to hear some real talk, hit us up 20 minutes before 9 on Rumble. We'll probably be live at least 20 minutes before the show. And we talk more with the audience and less with each other. So there's more interaction on the pre-show than there is on the YouTube show. So anyway.
Johnny Blaze says, I have a feeling Terry says the N-word all the time. I mean, I'm of the mind that it's just a word. So if it's the word that best captures what I'm trying to express, then I'll say it. Unless I'm on YouTube, on Minions, on YouTube. But I mean, yeah, if you want to hear me say it, just go watch The Corner or Clippers United or whatever. I've got no problem saying the word, except on Minions on YouTube.
Yeah. And that's just a courtesy. I appreciate that you do that. I don't want to get the YouTube channel banned. If you go on someone else's show and they're okay with it on Minions, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're on who else, Johnny, if you go on Johnny Hellcat's show Thursday night, if he's okay with it.
I mean, just in general, I won't say it on the Minions channel. If we were on Johnny's channel, then yeah, whatever. Yeah. But anything that would get the Minions channel in trouble, I will generally.
I don't think any of the hosts want it. I don't know that for sure, but I don't think any of the hosts do. So, yeah. The only reason is because it is a shared channel. We have seven hosts 7 nights a week running the show. So what can be done on one channel can affect the other channels. So that's the only limits we ever put on anybody, is just make sure you don't get just don't get us banned. Anything else, just don't get us banned.
Yeah, so, basically.
We used to have a backup channel on YouTube called MotZ Strems. I know, STRE. I'm not going to tell you who created the channel, but it wasn't me. But I don't know. Can you delete a channel?
I don't know. Probably.
I don't know if you. I never tried it. Maybe I'll talk to Reject. Yes, having a stroke is a pain in the ass. I'll talk to Reject and see if she's okay with me killing the MotZ Strems.
No one uses it anyway.
No, because we don't get banned generally, so that's why it was only there in case we got banned. And even when we got banned, people started using the regular channels, which makes it hard for me to.
They use their personal channel rather than the
which makes it hard for me to back up our channels in case we get killed, because now I have to go to their channels to get stuff, and I don't have any access to their channels, so they have to get it for me, or I have to figure out a way of getting it down. Where, in any case, I think Rumble should be our backup channel. We'll just use this channel as our backup channel there. So, and of course, if you go out and look at the Minions of the Dude channel on Rumble, it's all our shows. It's all Wednesday shows, because we're the only one doing it. So, I think there's a point where I should probably grab all the data from all the old shows and upload it to Rumble to give our Rumble channel some substance, because just doing Wednesday shows doesn't really look that great. You should have all our shows should all be out there. It will separate them. Yeah. I think it does the same thing that YouTube does, where it separates the live shows from the pre-recorded stuff. So
Fair.
uploading the pre-recorded stuff goes into a separate queue, but still having everything there, if nothing else, to have it as another backup. I'm perfectly happy with my NAS device. We'll never lose a show, but
Right.
having it up on Rumble serves a lot of good purposes. It's a secondary backup, makes the channel look bigger. If we ever do move over to a channel, all of our data is there. It's the smart thing to do. I'm just lazy ass and haven't done it yet. So
Fair enough.
all right, what do you say we get out of here? I'm hungry. I want to go get
sounds
something to eat.
Yeah.
What should we play?
Jen needs sleep. Hammer and I need food. So yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Well, my province has had a lot of fires over the last 2 weeks. So like yesterday, I went onto my balcony, and it was legitimately sepia outside. Like I walked into a brown photo from like the 1800s. So I'm feeling that. Like the last 2 days of smoke is just getting to me.
Just a note before we close. Tonight's show is brought to you in 3D. Do we I'll have you guys pick. We should do this every night. I'll give you 3 songs. You pick our outro song. So you either get the Cranberries Dreams, the Cars Magic, or Sledgehammer. Which one do you want?
I'll go Dreams.
Dreams?
Sure.
Jen? Okay. Good. We'll go ahead and get out of here then. Thanks, fam, as always, for chatting with us tonight. If you can't wait for the next Wednesday show, remember, the meetings are live every evening, including weekends, with most shows starting around 11 p.m. Eastern, 7 days a week. Host and start times are listed in the description down below. You can tell it's late. I can't talk anymore. Don't forget, like I mentioned before, don't forget about our pre-show. That stream starts about 20 minutes before 9, and it's real talk there. We'll be back next Wednesday at 9 p.m. as usual. I hope you guys enjoyed the show, and we'll see you again next week. Have a great night, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Have a good one.